A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to tonight's edition of Primetime News, coming to you live from our news studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka.
And I'm Jiyadardin. Here are your headlines for tonight.
Il Full Moon Poya Day, Sirasa Namami broadcast from Kotduva Viharaya.
මේ කොද්දුව රාජමහා විහාරස්ථානයේදී දහසක් පිරිස සහසම්බන්ධ කරගනිමින්
5 people died after drowning in the Daduroya in Chilao. Will the SJB attend the opposition rally on the 21st?
සහයෝගය අපි නොදැන ඉන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් අපේ සහභාගී නොවුනත් අපේ පූර්ව ආශිර්වාද තිබෙන බව අපි ප්‍රකාශ කරලා තිබෙනවා.
Over 11 kilograms of hashish seized from Katukurunda beach. Ambalangoda Devala committee chairman murder suspected to be an act of revenge. Russian highest civilian honor conferred upon Sri Lankan doctor Saman Veerasinghe. Democrat Zoran Mamdani elected New York mayor amid Trump funding cut warnings.
In your top story this evening, in some tragic news, 5 people who were swimming under the Daduroya bridge in the Chilao police division have died from drowning.
Five young men have drowned while swimming under the Daduroya bridge in the Chilao police division. According to police, a group of young men had gone swimming in the Daduroya this evening. The group had come to Chilao from Kiribati on an excursion. The deceased, aged between 16 and 18, were residents of Kiribati. A search operation is underway.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa attended the Katina Pinkama held at the Tangol Gautama Viharaya this afternoon.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who attended the Katina ceremony held at the Gautama Viharaya in Tangol, also engaged in a brief discussion with the chief incumbent of the temple, Venerable Thangale Gautama Thera. Venerable Litakande Sadhatisa Thera was also present at this occasion.
Newsfirst with the people.
What will happen to the protest rally themed Voice of the People, which is scheduled to be held on November 21st, organized by a coalition of several parties that have been divided by political ideologies in the past? Is the Samagi Jana Balawegya joining the rally or not? Who is actually attending the rally? Let's take a look.
A coalition of several opposition parties first announced their plan to hold a protest on the 21st of November at a joint press conference held in Colombo on the 27th of October. Representatives from the United National Party, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Podujana Eksat Peramuna, and several other parties were present at the press conference. Several former parliamentarians and ministers were also in attendance. Many questions were raised whether the main opposition party, the Samagi Jana Balawegya, would support this rally. However, on the day before the joint press conference, that is, on the 26th of October, SJB Deputy Chief Organizer Parliamentarian S.M. Marikar said that the Samagi Jana Balawegya would not be participating in the rally.
ලබන මාසේ 21 වෙනිදා විපක්ෂයේ රැලියක් පවත්වන්න සූදානම් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒකට ඔබතුමාලා සහභාගී වෙනවද? ජන බලවේගයේ සහභාගී වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි අපේ දේශපාලනේ අපේ ප්‍රතිපත්තියක අපි ඒකට යන්නේ නැහැ.
Although SJB Deputy National Organizer Parliamentarian S.M. Marikar said so, former SJB MP Tushara Indunil, speaking at a press conference yesterday, had this to say. So now the real question is the SJB joining this joint opposition rally or not? SJB MP Chaminda Vijayasiri made the following remarks at a press conference today.
මේ වෙලාවේ මොහොතේ අපේ ප්‍රධාන විපක්ෂයේ හැටියට අපේ තීන්දුව අපේ වැඩපිළිවෙල පක්ෂ විසින් මේ වෙනකොට තීන්දුව කරලා තිබෙන එතන සහභාගීත්වයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. නමුත් අපේ දෙන්න පුළුවන් සහයෝගය නොදැනී ඉන්නේ නැහැ. අපේ පූර්ව ආශිර්වාද තිබෙන බව අපි ප්‍රකාශ කරලා තිබුණා.
According to parliamentarian Chaminda Vijayasiri, the SJB will not directly participate, but they will extend their support. Why is the Samagi Jana Balavegia not attending the rally? This was the response given earlier by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna.
මේ විරෝධයට සම්බන්ධ නොවී ඉන්න පුළුවන් එක්ක ආණ්ඩුව එක්ක යටින් ඩීල් එකක් තියෙන පුරිසක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් රජයත් සමග මොනයම් හෝ ව්‍යාපාර කොන්තරාත් කටයුතු කරන පිරිසක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. මෙහෙවැනි පිරිස් දෙකකට ඇරුණාම වෙන කාටවත් නම් මේ වගේ විරෝධයකට මේ වගේ පොදු විරෝධයකට සම්බන්ධ නොවී ඉන්න බෑ.
Whether SJB representatives will actually take part in the joint opposition rally on the 21st of November can only be known on that day. Meanwhile, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa is currently on an official visit to India as these discussions unfold. During his absence on the 3rd of November, a group of representatives from several opposition parties gathered under the leadership of former Minister Professor G.L. Pires. The Podujana Eksat Peramuna, United Democratic Front, Sri Lanka Freedom Party, the Tamil Progressive Alliance, SJB MPs and many former parliamentarians and ministers attended this meeting. Why did this group meet suddenly while the opposition leader was in India? Every country needs a strong and effective opposition. That is why this discussion about the upcoming joint rally is important for the country. The people today are calling for a powerful, genuine and visionary opposition, one that does not deceive them. What are these politicians who have been in power for decades doing now? Is this just another political game like before? Who is pulling the strings and who is being manipulated? Now the people are watching.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa met with the Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. This meeting took place during his official visit to India.
This meeting focused on several key factors including the India-Sri Lanka partnership, regional stability, connectivity and mutual prosperity. According to the opposition leader's media division, strengthening cooperation in the fields of trade, energy and infrastructure was also discussed. Meanwhile, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa also met with the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, Om Birla. The discussions with the Speaker focused on enhancing institutional professionalism, strengthening legislative research and promoting youth participation in Parliament. During his visit to India, the leader of the opposition visited the Indian Agricultural Research Institute in Pusa of New Delhi and met Dr. Shashi Tharoor, a senior leader of the Indian Parliament and the Congress Party in New Delhi.
Police discovered nearly 12 kilograms of hashish this morning on the Katukurundu beach within the Kalutara South Police Division. The narcotics were packed in 10 parcels with an estimated street value exceeding 30 million rupees.
Suspicious parcels were first spotted by employees of a nearby tourist hotel who noticed one package washed ashore. They immediately alerted security authorities, prompting officers from the police special task force of the Katukurunda camp to arrive at the scene and take the parcels for investigation. Subsequent checks revealed that the packages contained hashish weighing approximately 12 kilograms. Authorities are now investigating whether the parcels drifted ashore from the sea or were deliberately placed on the beach by someone. 3 suspects allegedly involved in a plan to smuggle narcotics into Sri Lanka using a fishing vessel have been arrested while hiding in Trincomalee. The arrests were made during a raid conducted under the supervision of Police Inspector Nuwan Tilakaratna, second in command at the Special Task Force of the Trincomalee camp. Investigations revealed that the suspects were part of a crew aboard the multi-day fishing vessel Ranmanika 13, which left port on the 15th of September with 5 individuals. According to the STF, ATF, the group allegedly loaded 180 kilograms of heroin and crystal methamphetamine onto their vessel during two separate encounters with an Iranian ship in international waters, intending to bring the drugs into Sri Lanka. However, when a Sri Lanka Navy patrol craft intercepted the vessel, the suspects reportedly dumped the narcotics into the sea before being escorted back. Two suspects, including the skipper, were arrested earlier when the vessel returned to Sirasa Fisheries Harbour on the 2nd of this month. The remaining three fled and were later captured while hiding in Trincomalee. Police have arrested 10 suspects, including the owner of a hotel and his wife, during a raid on a party organised through Facebook at a hotel in Panadura North. The suspects were found in possession of crystal methamphetamine, commonly known as ice. According to police, 4 of the suspects were already wanted in connection with theft and assault cases. The remaining individuals were found carrying 20 milligrams of ice each. The arrested group includes residents from Hambantota, Kegol, Badulla and Dehivala, indicating a wide network of individuals involved in the party.
Police suspect that the assassination of Mirantha Varushavithana, chairman of the Modra Devalaya committee in Ambalangoda, was carried out as an act of revenge against the notorious underworld figure Karandeniya Sudha, who is currently hiding overseas. Varushavithana was reportedly a close relative of Karandeniya Sudha. Investigators revealed that the killing may have been executed by the son of Mahadunama Nalin, who was gunned down last May in Metyagoda, allegedly by Karandeniya Sudha's faction.
The shooting occurred around 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday on the road in front of the Ambalangoda Urban Council and main library. Mirantha Varushavithana, chairman of the Modra Devalaya committee in Ambalangoda, was gunned down. Varushavithana was riding a motorcycle when two unidentified men in a red car opened fire and fled the scene. CCTV footage shows the red car colliding with Varushavithana's motorcycle, causing him to fall. Despite attempting to escape on foot, the gunman chased him down and shot him before fleeing. Varushavithana sustained critical injuries and was rushed to Balapiti Hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. Police later discovered the red car abandoned about 9 kilometers away in Maha Edanta area in Karandeniya. Authorities believe the killing was a retaliatory strike linked to the 4th of May shooting in Metyagoda, where Mahadunama Nalin was murdered inside a restaurant. Police previously confirmed that Karandeniya Sudha, now overseas, was behind the attack. Reports indicate that Isuru, the son of Mahadunama Nalin, carried out yesterday's shooting and even contacted Varushavithana's son, who is abroad, shortly after the attack. Isuru is currently on the run, and police have deployed 4 special teams to investigate the incident.
Democrat Zoran Mamdani has claimed a decisive victory in the New York City mayoral race, capturing global attention as the Democratic Party triumphed in the first major elections of Donald Trump's second term. Against the backdrop of US President Donald Trump's warning that federal funding to New York City would be cut if Mamdani were elected mayor, the people of New York have entrusted him with this victory. A powerful and a symbolic statement of defiance. During his in his victory speech, Mamdani had a direct message for US President Donald Trump. Let's.
New York, this power, it's yours. This city belongs to you. Thank you.
Zoran Mamdani, a democratic socialist, has been elected mayor of the New York City, capping a stunning ascent of the 34-year-old state lawmaker who is set to become the city's most liberal mayor in generations. In a victory for the Democratic Party's progressive wing, Mamdani defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Lever. With the victory, the Democratic Socialist will etch his place in history as the city's first Muslim mayor, the first of South Asian heritage and the first born in Africa. He will also become the city's youngest mayor in more than a century when he takes office on the 1st of January. Mamdani's unlikely rise gives credence to Democrats who have urged the party to embrace more progressive left-wing candidates instead of rallying behind centrists in hopes of winning back swing voters who have abandoned the party. Mamdani has already faced scrutiny from national Republicans, including President Donald Trump, who have eagerly cast him as a threat and the face of what they say is a more radical Democratic Party. Earlier this week, Republican President Donald Trump threatened to hold back federal funds to the New York City if Mamdani wins the mayoral election. However, despite the threats, the contest drove the highest turnout in a mayoral race in more than 50 years, with more than 2 million New Yorkers casting ballots, according to the city's Board of Elections. In Mamdani's victory speech, he hit on many of his campaign promises, as well as how he plans to deliver for the key voting groups that helped power his success. He repeated his pledges for free buses, universal childcare and tackling rising rent prices to help make the city more affordable.
In this moment of political darkness, New York will be the light. And if we embrace this brave new course, rather than fleeing from it, we can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves. After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one.
As Mamdani spoke about him, US President Donald Trump wrote on social media, quote, "And so it begins," end quote. Meanwhile, Democrats have won governor races in Virginia and New Jersey as well. Democrat Mickey Sherrill has won a New Jersey governor's race in yet another election fought on cost of living. On the West Coast, voters in California approved Governor Gavin Newsom's plan to redraw their U.S. House district maps as Democrats try to counter Republicans' efforts in states such as Texas to give their party an advantage in next year's midterms. Democrat Abigail Spanberger will also be Virginia's next governor and the first woman in the job. With these wins, Democrats including Mamdani have sealed a remarkable victory, but real challenges lie ahead and their successes and failures will be closely scrutinized.
New York, this power, it's yours. This city belongs to you. Thank you.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has awarded Dr. Saman Veerasinghe, Secretary General of the Sri Lanka-Russia Friendship Society and the head of the Russian Geographical Society in Sri Lanka, with one of the nation's highest civilian honors, the Order of Friendship. Dr. Veerasinghe is also the only Asian recipient of the Order of Friendship in 2025, marking a significant milestone for Sri Lanka's global diplomatic presence.
Russian President Vladimir Putin conferred one of the country's most prestigious civilian honors, the Order of Friendship, on Dr. Saman Veerasinghe, Secretary General of the Sri Lanka-Russia Friendship Society and head of the Russian Geographical Society in Sri Lanka. Dr. Veerasinghe, a former Sri Lankan ambassador to the Russian Federation, received the award in recognition of his decades-long efforts to strengthen bilateral ties between the two nations. In his acceptance speech, he expressed gratitude to President Putin for acknowledging his contribution and reaffirmed his commitment to deepening cultural, educational and humanitarian cooperation. President Putin, addressing the ceremony, praised Dr. Veerasinghe's role in fostering mutual understanding and collaboration. The Russian leader noted that Dr. Saman Veerasinghe makes a great contribution to strengthening cultural and humanitarian ties with Russia.
Филиала Русского географического общества в Шри-Ланке.
The award ceremony took place at the Kremlin in Moscow yesterday on the Russian National Unity Day. A graduate of the Moscow Medical Academy with honours, Dr. Veerasinghe served as Sri Lanka's ambassador to Russia from 2015 to 2018. He is also the only Asian recipient of the Order of Friendship in 2025, marking a significant milestone for Sri Lanka's global diplomatic presence.
According to the Inland Revenue Department, it is mandatory for all individuals registered for income tax to submit their income tax returns for the year 2024-2025 via online on or before the 30th of November.
The Inland Revenue Department stressed that legal action will be taken in accordance with the Inland Revenue Act No. 24 of 2017 against those who fail to submit their income tax returns by the due date. In a statement made by IRD, more information on this regard can be obtained by calling 1944, visiting the official website www.ird.gov.lk or contacting the nearest Inland Revenue Regional Office. Archbishop Paul Richard Gallagher, Secretary for Relations with States and International Organizations of the Holy See, and Archbishop of Colombo Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit, who visited the St. Anthony's Shrine in Kochikade.
Archbishop Paul Richard Gallagher, Secretary for Relations with States and International Organizations of the Holy See, and Archbishop of Colombo, Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, spoke about the Easter Sunday attacks and the events that unfolded after the 21st of April 2019. Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit highlighted the impact that the attack had on the Catholic community and the entire nation as a whole.
Later we discovered that there was a political and we have been asking the governments to investigate how this government is doing its best. So we are in the process of trying to discover.
Archbishop Paul Richard Gallagher, Secretary for Relations with States and International Organizations of the Holy See, also had a cordial conversation with devotees who were present at the church and also blessed them. Archbishop Paul Richard Gallagher and Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit then visited St. Lucia's Cathedral, Kotahena, to celebrate Holy Mass for the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the Holy See and Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, Archbishop Paul Richard Gallagher, Secretary for Relations with States and International Organizations of the Holy See, recently met with Prime Minister Dr. Harinyamarasuriya at Temple Trees. During the discussion, His Eminence expressed his appreciation for the new educational reforms introduced by the government. The Prime Minister emphasized the reconciliation achieved after the conflicts, stressing that continuous dialogue and fresh thinking are necessary to reach reconciliation. Commending the government's vision in this regard, Archbishop Gallagher also emphasized the importance of strengthening the judicial system, trust and transparency to maintain international confidence during the meeting.
Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nandalal Weerasinghe, said that representatives of the Central Bank are ready to appear before Parliament to answer any questions posed if an invitation to do so is extended. The Governor made this statement in response to a question raised by the Chair of the Committee on Public Finance, Dr. Harsha De Silva.
So, Governor, the issue is a practical one. And that is when members ask questions in the House that deals with monetary policy, for instance, inflation or exchange rates or, the inflation target. Generally, we do not get answers in the House because there is no representation of the central bank sitting in the chamber. Now the question is, how do we address that?
That's a good question, Honorable Chairman. I think what we say usually when the question was asked in the Parliament by a member, that goes directly to the Minister of Finance. And they share that question with us. Sometimes the answers are needed. So tomorrow we get the question, day before tomorrow, like today. So we somehow managed to provide those answers and send it to the Minister of Finance. They are the authority to provide that answers to the whoever the member of the minister or deputy minister. Usually they respond to that. That's a mechanism I can ensure all the questions those are coming to the central bank through the Minister of Finance. We send answers within the deadline. But we had noticed in the process those have not been on time, and the requirement has not been answered because they take some more time or whatever. Because sometimes questions are not only related to central bank. Questions are related to central bank, Minister of Finance, some other agencies. I think process, as I understand, Minister of Finance collect questions, answers from the whole other agencies and compile and they submit to the minister in charge of the subject, and then they respond. I think we don't mind if there's a situation, if we are invited, we can come here and sit at the this chamber and provide answers if necessary. But I think for us to provide instant answers, I think it's too difficult for any officer to immediately respond without knowing the question in advance. I think we would appreciate we know the question in advance. We can give a proper right answer through the process.
A UPS wide-body cargo plane crashed yesterday and erupted into a fireball moments after takeoff from the Louisville International Airport in Kentucky, killing 7, including all 3 aboard, and injuring 11 on the ground. Officials noted that the massive blaze was due to the amount of fuel on board the aircraft, which was beginning a journey of around 4,300 miles to Hawaii. The aircraft was carrying 144,000 liters of fuel when it crashed.
The UPS flight 2976 crashed at about 5:15 p.m. US time after its left wing caught fire. The McDonnell Douglas MD-11 aircraft, made in 1991, was departing for Honolulu, Hawaii from UPS World Port at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Flames from the crash shortly before sundown ignited a string of fires in an industrial corridor adjacent to the airport, forcing authorities to halt flight operations through the night. Fires on the ground burned for hours afterwards, with authorities warning the public within an 8-kilometer radius of the scene to stay indoors to guard against air quality hazards. The shelter-in-place zone was later reduced to a mile across. Louisville Fire Department Chief Brian O'Neill said the amount of fuel spilled at the crash site made it a very dangerous situation. Commenting on the crash, the governor of Kentucky described it as a tremendous tragedy.
The National Transportation Safety Board will be in charge of the investigation and will be on the scene shortly. They will be the primary source of the investigation as it continues in the days and in the weeks ahead. I can confirm that there was no specifically hazardous cargo on board of the plane that would create an environmental issue for those around the site, but the impact and where it impacted could create those types of situations. So please, if there is a shelter in place, follow it.
A comprehensive investigation has been launched into the cause of the crash, though the exact reason has not yet been determined. Meanwhile, the US government shutdown has entered its 36th day, making it the longest period of time the American government has been closed. Airports across the country are feeling its impact, with flight delays piling up because of staffing shortages and lines of frustrated travelers appearing endless. Amid this situation, US President Donald Trump has ordered non-essential public service workers to report for duty without pay from the 1st of October onwards, and similarly airport-related staff including airport traffic controllers and airport ground staff have been working unpaid under the directive. In this context, the recent aviation accident has drawn intense attention globally. It has been described as the fourth major US air crash since President Trump assumed office for a second term. Earlier this year, an American Airlines aviation accident at the Ronald Reagan Airport in Washington, D.C. involving a mid-air collision killed 67 people and is considered one of the deadliest U.S. aviation disasters in years. Another aviation accident was reported on the 10th of April when a Bell 206 long-range 4 helicopter on a sightseeing tour crashed into the Hudson River near Jersey City in New Jersey. That claimed the lives of all 6 on board. On the 22nd of May 2025, a Cessna Citation II crashed in the Murphy Canyon neighborhood of San Diego, California, killing all 6 people aboard the aircraft and injuring at least 8 others on the ground. With aviation incidents as such being reported more frequently, the impact on everyday Americans has grown increasingly severe. These tragedies serve as a stark reminder of the urgent need to restore safety, trust and accountability in the skies.
The death toll from the typhoon Kalmegi in the Philippines has climbed to 85, including 6 people on a military helicopter that crashed during a powerful storm, which unleashed heavy rains and floods across the central region of the country.
At least 85 people have been killed while hundreds of thousands fled their homes as one of the strongest typhoons this year ripped through the central Philippines. Typhoon Kalmegi has flooded entire towns on the most populated central island of Cebu, where 49 of the fatalities were located. 26 others are missing. Videos show people sheltering on rooftops while cars and shipping containers have been swept through the streets.
Ngayon, hindi pa kami nakatanggap ng tulong galing sa official ng City Hall, walang food pack, wala.
The official death toll includes 6 crew members of a military helicopter that crashed on Mindanao Island, south of Cebu, after it was deployed to assist in relief efforts. The aircraft went down yesterday near Agusan del Sur and was one of 4 sent to help. The Philippine Air Force said that communication with the helicopter was lost, which immediately prompted the launch of a search and rescue operation. Later, a spokeswoman said 6 bodies had been recovered, believed to be of the pilot and crew. The typhoon, locally named Tino, has weakened since making landfall early yesterday, but has continued to bring winds of more than 130 kilometers per hour. It is forecast to move across the Visayas Islands region and out over the South China Sea by today.
David Beckham has been knighted by King Charles III in what the retired British football star described as his proudest moment.
Manchester United with 5 already, and with Beckham and Scholes near the free kick. But surely a job for David Beckham. No! Oh! That was brilliant! That was breathtaking! That was Beckham!
Sheringham. Beckham! First blood to Manchester United!
Players back, including from Manchester United. Here goes Beckham! Brilliant!
It's Beckham. It's fantastic! Absolutely!
Roy Keane. Beckham. Prepared to have a crack! Oh, what a goal!
And to charity.
Former England football captain Sir David Beckham has been formally knighted for his services to football and British society. The 50-year-old, who was named on King Charles's birthday honours list earlier this year, was knighted by the King during a ceremony in Berkshire yesterday.
you know, it's a very proud day for us as a family today. You know, I grew up in the East End of London in a very humble family, and, you know, this moment, you know, my dream was always to become a professional footballer, play for my country, play for Manchester United, and everything else that has come with that has been incredible. But today, to be honoured by, you know, the most important institutions in the world and one of the most respected institutions in the world, you know, being an East End boy, it's a very proud day. You know, the monarchy has always been very important in our family. You know, my grandparents, my parents, myself, my kids, the royal family have always played a huge role. I've always had like a huge respect for our royal family, and especially when I get to travel around the world, because, you know, people want to talk to me about our royal family, and that shows how much respect people have. And, you know, to be here today to receive a knighthood by His Majesty the King, it's pretty surreal.
Beckham was joined by his wife Victoria and his parents Sandra and David at Windsor Castle. Victoria, who received an OBE in 2017 for services to the fashion industry, designed and made the suit that her husband wore at the castle. Beckham played 115 times for his country and captained the Three Lions for 6 years between 2000 and 2006. The former Manchester United and Real Madrid midfielder featured in 3 World Cups for England as well as 2 European Championships.
Darling of his club, darling of his country, forever young, David Peter Pan Beckham. 5.
The Sri Lankan cricket squad for the 2025 Rising Stars Asia Cup has been announced. The squad will be led by Dunith Velalage.
The tournament is to be held in Qatar from the 14th to the 23rd of November. According to the official Facebook handle of the Asian Cricket Council, the Sri Lankan squad nominated for the tournament includes young players such as Vishen Halambage, Vijayakanth Vyaskanth, Traveen Matthew and Garuka Sanket. In addition, the squad will comprise of experienced players such as Nishan Madhushkar, Lasit Cruz Pulle, Navinda Fernando, Ramesh Mendes, Sahan Arachige, Pramod Madhushan, Milan Ratnayaka, Isita Vijay Sundara, Sohan Dilivera and Ahan Vikramasinghe. Squads from Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Chinese Taipei will be competing under Group A, while Group B includes India, Pakistan, the United Arab Emirates and Oman. The first match of the tournament in which Sri Lanka will participate will be played against Afghanistan on the 15th of November. The official local broadcasting rights holder for the tournament is the Sirasa Media Network, and the tournament will be broadcasted live through TV1 and the official website www.sirasatv.lk.
Today on beautiful Sri Lanka, we are ready to share the story of a historic site that showcases the glory of Sri Lanka's ancient history to the world.
Rajagala, also known as Rasagala or Rajagala Thanna, is a treasured landmark in Sri Lanka's historical narrative, nestled within the Ohana Divisional Secretariat Division of the Ampara district. This sprawling archaeological site is more than just a destination. It is a journey into the heart of our island's rich cultural and spiritual heritage. The architectural brilliance of Rajagala instantly captivates visitors. From ancient stupas and monasteries to serene ponds, rock inscriptions and statues of the Buddha, every structure whispers stories of art history, devotion and knowledge from centuries past. Come, explore Rajagala. Discover a hidden jewel of Sri Lanka's past and carry with you memories of timeless beauty that will inspire long after your visit ends.
Beautiful Sri Lanka.
An Indian Ocean Tsunami Preparedness Program was held at the Disaster Management Center today in conjunction with World Tsunami Awareness Day.
5 selected Gramanilidar divisions in the coastal districts of Batiklo, Jaffna, Galle and Kaluthra were included in this program.
We will leave you with footage of the Tsunami Preparedness Program.
And that's a wrap of your news for tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.
පරිමාණයකට 9.1 කින් යුත්